What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about something that's an often overlooked concept, and that is pre-pitch routines. When we look at NBA free throw shooters, every single one of those guys has a religious pre-shot routine that they go through, from how they approach the line to how they dribble the ball, how many times they dribble the ball, to their visualization before the shot, to a deep breath, which is pretty much a constant between all of them. Free throw shooters figured out a long time ago that if they have a consistent, individualized pre-shot routine, it massively increases their ability to repeat that motor pattern. So it's no different when it comes to pitching. I've had coaches that place a ton of emphasis on this and other coaches who didn't place any emphasis on this. But I really feel like this was something that helped me repeat my delivery when my mechanics maybe were all over the place. If I could come back to my pre-pitch routine as my anchor, it gave me a chance in hell of actually repeating my delivery and repeating my release point. So no matter what level you are, from high school to the big leagues, this is something that should be a constant in your routine. So as far as actually going through your pre-pitch routine on a day-to-day basis, I recommend spending about 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most on this. Again, you're doing light dry reps, so this shouldn't take anything out of your arm. But to get started, we're gonna go through the setup. So wherever you come set on the rubber, and I hope you have a good reason for which place on the rubber you come set, that's gonna be a consistent starting point. I personally like to start with my back foot internally rotate a little bit. That's just a mechanical thing that I do. But from there, it's the exact same thing every time. Whatever you do, make sure that is consistent each time. From there, same body position, same posture, picking up the target, and that's gonna be my setup. So that's what I'm gonna repeat as the initial part of this routine. Whatever you do decide, just make sure it's the same thing each time. Obviously, some pitchers are coming set in a crazy Craig Kimbrell setup. Some guys are coming set, hooking the rubber, right side, left side, whatever it is, just make sure that's the same each time. The second part is gonna be actually coming set and taking a deep breath. Now, I recommend taking at least 1 deep breath in your pre-pitch routine. For me, I like taking 2. So as soon as I finish getting my setup, I like taking a deep breath here. Then I'll come set. So however you come set, if you have, an extended period of coming set, or if it's just a simple hands together, whatever your routine is, make sure that's the same thing every time. And for me, I take that second deep breath as I finish coming set. So maybe it's a couple of these right here. And that deep breath is what locks in coming set. So for me, it's 2 deep breaths. I recommend at the very least getting 1 deep breath as you finish coming set. If you're throwing out of the windup, it's that last thing you do as soon as you're finished getting set before you initiate the throw. So what that deep breath does is essentially it calms your nervous system and it releases everything else going on in your mind. So that is a constant anchor that you can go to kind of reset your body psychologically and in turn physiologically. The final thing that you're gonna wanna do before actually going through the dry rep, and this is just a recommendation, it's not mandatory, is have some sort of 1 or 2 word mantra that you tell yourself. It can be completely, personal for you. It can be private. It can be something as simple as attack or relax or, screw you to the hitter. Something you tell yourself each time that puts your mind in the same mentality before each pitch. So the deep breath clears your mind, and then you tell yourself that single mantra, whatever it is, and that's what gets you in that mode, whatever you need to tell yourself to make yourself successful. So you can kind of experiment with mantras, but something simple like attack puts you in that final mode before your pitch, and then you go. From there, go through your dry rep. Again, depending on if you're warmed up or not, this can be a very abbreviated dry throw at 10% effort, or if you're fairly warmed up, it can be a 50% effort dry throw that's a little bit more game-like. Whatever the case, we're working on routines here, not necessarily our actual delivery, so this can kind of scale up or down depending on how warm you are. From there, it's still important, we're not done yet, we want to work on our post-pitch routine. So as you finish that throw, it's how you receive the ball from the catcher, and not only that, but where you end up on or off the mound. So to give yourself as much time as possible pre-pitch, you're not going to want to spend too much time coming way off the dirt to receive the ball. So try to stay at the very foot of the mound, receive the ball, and get back on the rubber as soon as possible. That's going to give you plenty of time back on the rubber to not have to rush. If you come way out in front of the mound, turn around, walk twice around the mound, you're really going to be pushing that limit of 20 seconds or so in between pitches, and you're going to have to rush once you actually get on the rubber. So minimize that time after actually releasing the pitch before getting yourself back on the rubber, and make sure whatever you do, it's going to be the same thing each time. So even as we're rehearsing this, we're still going to be rehearsing actually how we receive the ball and then reset. A good thing to work on and some variation you can do here is when you do come set, remembering to add in variations with runners on base. So adding in after you come set, different holds, varying your holds. If there's a runner on second, adding in 1, 2, 3 look variations as well. So just putting yourself mentally in whatever situation you might find yourself in the game and being able to rehearse that in terms of the dry reps, in terms of the mental reps. As far as some practical tips for how to actually implement this with your athletes, I really like spending about 5 or 10 minutes per practice with your pitchers, just working through this. Again, it's not going to beat up their arms, and it's going to be something that really focuses on the mental aspect of the game, which is something a lot of coaches really overlook. I feel there's a lot of bang for your buck in doing this, considering you're only going to be spending 5 or 10 minutes per day. So if you're trying to fill time at the end of practice, doing something like this as opposed to running your pitchers into the ground is definitely a good alternative, and it's definitely going to pay dividends in terms of giving your guys that repeatable anchor that they can go to in between pitches. Something extra to work on that you're definitely going to want to focus on is what I call my oh shit routine. So this is when you just walked back-to-back batters, or you just gave up a tater to the previous batter. Whatever the case may be, you just had shit hit the fan and you need to refocus. So you're a little bit rattled and you need to get back into the groove as though this was, an inning in which you're totally cruising. So for the oh shit routine, what you're going to want to do is pick some sort of focal point that's going to exist in any ballpark you ever play at. Whether it's on the road, at home, you're always going to have a top of the right field foul pole. You're always going to have the bottom left corner of the scoreboard. Pick something that exists that's away from the home plate, that you can look at, that you can go to, that exists in any ballpark. As you begin the oh shit routine, you just gave up the home run. Great. Receive the ball from the catcher, and you're going to want to make sure you step off the mound and turn your back to home plate. So as soon as you can tell that you're beginning to get rattled, that you're rattled from the previous play, step off the mound, turn your back away from the plate, and pick up whatever focal point you chose. So for me, it might be the top of the right field foul pole. So step off the mound, deep breath, I pick up my focal point. I'm gonna give myself 5-10 seconds, whatever it takes, and I'm not gonna turn around, I'm not gonna take the mound and face the hitter until I've mentally flushed and mentally released that emotion that I felt from the previous pitch. So you'd be surprised if you rehearse this, then you still have something to go to, you still have a routine to go to when shit does inevitably hit the fan. So it doesn't just completely shake you and you're just totally at a loss. You're like, oh crap, gave up a home run. I now have my oh crap routine. It's already rehearsed. I already know what I have to do. Step off the mound, pick up your focal point, 1, 2, 3, 4 deep breaths, whatever it takes. Flush, back on the rubber. As soon as you hit the rubber, it's over, on to the next batter. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Your views are what make growing this channel possible. So if you like this content, give it a like, make sure to subscribe to us, and if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave that below. Until next time, see you then.